In today's 5-minute guide, we're going to take a look at one of the most iconic characters in the franchise, Centaureissi. She's a rather straightforward character that really rewards smart gameplay and skill usage. We're going to quickly talk about how to get her set up and ready for the battlefield, and then we're going to show how to really capitalize on her skills and abilities in the gameplay section. So with that, let's hop in and let's do it. Okay, so if we're going over her skills, let's first talk about the buff Heat Recovery, since her entire kit revolves around it. It is a simple buff that triggers when an ally is targeted. It's going to heal them, restore some of their stability, and remove a buff from the attacker before the attack lands on your unit. Centaureissi's passive Maid's Duty says that as long as she holds on to this buff, she's going to do extra damage, extra healing, and she will apply Overburn on all of her attacks. Her passive will also allow 2 support attacks each turn when an ally targets an enemy within her range. When doing this, she's going to recover some Confectance points, which are used to fuel her ult, and she will also give the ally heat recovery in addition. Since there's only one thing to spend her Confectance points on, let's talk about her ult, Afternoon Tea Break. This requires all 6 Confectants, but heals map-wide for a very large amount, removes 2 debuffs from everyone, and restores stability to your lowest unit. It even gives everyone heat recovery. This is a healing ability on steroids and will most likely top your entire team off, as well as giving them future healing via heat recovery. While waiting for her ult to charge, Centaureissi will most likely be rotating between her other 2 skills as needed. Her first skill, Careful Hospitality, gives her heat recovery if she doesn't already have it, then launches an attack that does a large amount of stability damage and heals the closest ally. Since this gives her the heat recovery buff before the attack, her passive will apply Overburn to the target as well. If the target already has Overburn, she will heal 2 closest allies instead of 1. Her second skill, Sakuro's Special Drink, just does an AoE targeted on an ally that heals your units and harms enemy units. If the enemies are already on fire from Overburn, they will also lose 2 of their buffs. Moving on to fixed and common keys. Centaureissi's fixed keys actually don't really change how she plays at all and just provide her some nice utility for her kit. Most of the time, you're just going to use Lucky Menu for the free buffs on your teammates, Thorough Preparation for the debuff removal, and then kind of whatever you want in the last slot. I prefer Free Meal Dessert because it makes your first ult very flexible on the timing, but if you're a little under gear, you could also use Comforting Blend because this helps offset some of your lower attack that you might have on your gear. For common keys, once again, whatever you have available, but some of the standouts include her own key, Cheetah's key, Ksenia's key, and even Krolik's key. Finally, weapons and weapon attachments. Now, weapons don't really matter much on her since her main focus is healing. However, if you have the resources to gear her out a little like a DPS character, you can actually get some very respectable numbers out of her. As you'll see in the combat section, she shines when she takes a more offensive role on the battlefield. So with that being said, there's kind of 2 builds, a support role and a DPS role. For the support role, her custom weapon or even the Guerno from the Battle Pass make excellent choices. The Guerno is a standout because it makes positioning for her Careful Hospitality much easier with the ability on the weapon. The DPS focused build, you probably want to just go with Golden Melody since you'll get the most damage out of that. And for 4-star options, you can just stick with the good old QBZ 191. Attachments for the support build should be Emergency Repair with a focus on attack stats since that's what your healing scales off of. But for the DPS build, you want to go once again Phase Strike due to her mixed damage profile, and you want to focus pretty heavily on attack and crit rating. For the combat section, I want to go over something a little bit different. Using her as a healer is pretty straightforward. You don't really need me to explain how to do that. When your teammates get low, you press the alt. If someone needs extra healing, you stand next to them and use Careful Hospitality. Nothing to go really in depth on for that. But as a aggressive supporting character, I kind of want to showcase what she can do. So we're going to go over what I'm calling the Vepley Bomb. You can do this with lots of other characters. A lot of works really well, and even Diane. But essentially what this allows you to do is clear the field from lots of low HP enemies. Although we're doing this on expansion drill 9, which yeah, they're level 60, so they're pretty meaty. So we're gonna run up, throw a AoE on them with Vepley. Said if you throws it on the ground, you can hit her as well. Just trying to hit as many people in position where Centaureissi can run up and AoE off of the target as well. Now this is going to not only do damage, it's also going to apply overburn to everyone. That's why this guy died here. Because she has heat recovery, it's also going to apply overburn to all the targets that are hit by that. But now that she's in a forward aggressive position like this, it also allows her to do lots of follow-up attacks on targets and shred their stability, while also spreading around a lot of heat recovery. And then have the rest of the team mop up the rest of the mobs. Okay, here we got another example of the Vepley Bomb. We're just running up into the middle of the enemies, throw a grenade. Once again, this also is great for unstealthing any enemies that are trying to, like, stay hidden. And we just have Centaureissi come up and follow that up with another AoE, and that'll wipe out almost everything. Anybody who survives will get overburn, which will probably either kill them after the attack or kill them on their turn. So, but we have nothing left to attack, so we'll just finish them. I know, bros, we went over 5 minutes again. I'm going to change the format of these going forward. We're going to make more time. So the next one that we're going to do is Klukai, or HK416 as some of you know her. So look forward to that. That'll be coming out soon. And don't forget to join me on Fridays for Friday Night Frontline. You're right here on YouTube. And I look forward to seeing you all then. So until then, have a good one.